Hello and welcome to Money Mindset. Dun, dun, dun. So, just a little bit of a warning before we start. This session can be a bit triggering. Oh, we've got another one coming in. It can be a little bit triggering. It can make you see things that you didn't know were there and things that were there from other people. And you're like, well, why the fuck did you say that? That wasn't very nice. So don't worry about what comes up. I've got you. What else do I need to tell you? You know, I get distracted and swear a lot, so I don't need to tell you that. If I do lose my chain of thought, please feel free to unmute and tell me what the fuck I was talking about, because I'll probably need a little bit of a nudge. Hi, Ange, and hi, Rach. Okay. Let me see. Oh, well, that sounded fun, didn't it? What's going on there? Okay. Right, let me, where's the button? Share the screen. Okay. Are you ready? Have you got your journals? I can see pens in hands. Are you ready? Oh, here we are. I've got another one. Oh, this is so good. I'm so happy that so many people have turned up. I thought there'd be about 3 people. Just oh, sorry, that's my phone. I best turn my phone. It's so fluffy. I know. I love Despicable Me is my all-time favorite film. I can't remember which minion I am, but someone used to call me one of the minions. But yeah, anyway, see, I've gone off on a tangent and we haven't even started. Right, shut up, Nick. Share the screen. Press the button. There we go. Here we are. Okay, money mindset. Okay. I want you to be really honest during this session as well. No one's going to see your notes if you don't want them to, but I am going to ask you to share, obviously, as part of your homework tonight. So I just want you to write down the answer to this question, like at the very beginning. So right now, how does talking about money make you feel? Like, I never used to like talking about it, or if I did talk about it, it would just be pure negative. Like, oh my God, I've got no money. We can't afford. I've spent so much on this. It was like all that lack mentality. And I never used to like talking about it. And if someone tried to talk to me about money, it would trigger me and make me go, oh, okay. So I used to avoid it as much as possible, basically. Or like I say, I'd always talk or moan about it in a bit of a negative way. So there are 9 major signs that you need to reset your money mindset. Okay, so these might resonate with you now. Where my book's all back to front. There we go. So the first one is you find yourself constantly thinking about money. And it's normally you're thinking about what you haven't got, or it's normally thinking about what you need to pay. And it's normally that feeling when you think about it that gives you that bit of like the prickly feeling across your chest, or the anxiety that crawls up your back and like hooks its hands over your shoulders and then just dangles off you all day. That's what mine used to feel like. Remember those things? I don't know how old everyone is here, but boglins, and they were like little bogies with eyes. It's like one of them that crawls up my back and just sticks to me. You feel uncomfortable talking about money. You avoid anything money related. So if it involves checking your bank accounts, opening any letters to do with credit cards, anything like that, bury in your head. I can see people nodding. I'm proud of you for nodding. Thank you for being honest. So important that you're honest though, because you can't move forward if you're like, I don't do that. And inside your inner bitch is going, you fucking liar. You so do that. I know you do. Poking you in the back, all right, and then you feel shame. So everything is okay. There's no judgment here, absolutely no judgment. I used to be exactly the same. I just used to put my card to the machine and close my eyes, and then sometimes it'd be like, I'm sorry, it's been declined, and I'd have to put the biscuits back or the ham back, or I'd have to look at what we didn't really need, so put the bubble bath back. Oh, it makes me feel like crying. I can just remember my mum passing me money, you know, when I got to the till because I didn't have enough to pay for me shopping. And again, there's absolutely no shame in any of this. This is just all about our money mindset, but I've been there. So you don't know where your money's gone because you're not keeping account of it. You're just hoping for the best and flying by the seat of your pants and just going deep, deep, deep until it goes, fuck off. You've spent me. God, there's nothing left, woman. Oh, you overspend. Look at the little piggy. How cute's the little piggy? You underspend, worrying about running out of money. That was never me. I never underspent. But some people think that it's all gonna be gone, and that can be linked to different things. So if you've lived in a house where there was addictions or gambling or anything like that, it can be linked to triggers from, you know, it can go the other way as well, can't it? You would spend it because you didn't want them to have it, or you'd keep it because they always spent it. So there's all different triggers around all different things. Your feelings drive your spending habits, your handing spendits. I nearly said that. And this is really interesting because when we get emotional and we feel down or we feel shit, our brain looks for a hit of dopamine, which it can get from a big fat tub of ice cream or a little shop on Amazon. I'm going to fucking buy myself something to cheer myself up. And that's what can happen. So if we feel down a lot or if we're struggling a little bit, we will look to the, fuck it, I'm just going to put it on my credit card. You've got debt. Who hasn't, by the way? Let's just get that very clear. But again, that's fine. If self-employed, you fail to see the value of your services and undercharge or don't charge at all. I'm just going to drop that in there. And that can feel really, really icky, can't it? Because you know that your service is of value because you've started doing that thing because you either got the value of it yourself and you've become like a holistic healer or a coach or, you know, a wedding planner or something. You do something for a reason, you've experienced something. But when you first start, you think that because you're helping someone that you shouldn't charge. We're going to come to this in a minute anyway. Okay. So what is money mindset? So let me just make this small so I can see what's going on. So our money mindset looks at how our beliefs, expectations, and feelings towards money influence our financial behavior, success, and actions. And this is exactly what money mindset is. So what we believe, what we expect to happen, how we feel towards money will have a massive, massive effect on the behavior, which has an effect on the success and how we deal with money. So because our thoughts control our actions, effectively, this means that achieving financial success is an inside job and is more determined by the thought processes that occur in our mind rather than any external event. So because our thoughts control our actions, this actually means that anything that we feel then affect our behavior. And again, I'm going to come to this in a minute, but it's so important that we realize the reasons that we feel things and the reasons that we react to things and we behave the way we do is because of our beliefs. So when we can get to the root of these beliefs, we can be like, I am fucking worthy of charging. It's okay that I've got debt. I'm grateful for my debt. I am ready to fucking invest in myself because I deserve to. So it's all of these things. So tonight, there's a little bit of a boo-boo here. So sorry about that. I will help you uncover your own money story. Notice the stories you've been telling yourself and where they come from. Change your attitude towards money. Change how you think about money and create your own money goals. And hopefully set a bit of a fire under your arse. Okay, what is your money story? Let me just find the page in my book. Oh, hang on. Sorry, my book's all back to front because I was writing it in bits and bobs in the garden today. So when you were a child, like looking back now, not having enough was something that I've always known. I've lost my chain of thought. Hang on, I told you this had happened. it starts off from when we're very young. If you think about our brains when we're little, they're like little sponges, aren't we? So we might have been around like parents or mine was mainly my grandparents, but obviously it's like monkey see, monkey do, isn't it? So when we're little, we just believe everything that people tell us. So when we hear these things, we just accept them. We don't think to question them because we're too little. And then what happens is we have it as our belief and we keep saying them, even though we don't understand what they mean. So I've just put here, because we are young, our little spongy brains believe and absorb this and as the only truth we know about money, and we subconsciously carry it through our lives with us into adulthood. So things like money doesn't grow on trees, we haven't got enough, we can't afford, that was all the time, rich people are greedy, that my nan used to say that all the time, and money is evil. So I spent a lot of time with my nan, and if you've read my book, you'll know all about my nan, and she'd always say like all of those things, but mainly rich people are greedy and money is evil. So if you think about it for a minute, if money is evil, like why would we even want it? Why would we even want to attract that into our world? We just wouldn't. If you tell yourself you can't afford it, you're not going to be able to afford it. And this can all hold you back, like from achieving anything every single month. So if you think you can't afford it, it's almost going to subconsciously stop you earning the money that you're calling in, if that makes sense. Sorry, got a dry gob already. What is your money story? There we go. That's the bit I've just said. Our little spongy brains believe and absorb this as the only truth we know about money. So I've just said that bit. Oh God, there's people coming in all over the show here. This is great. So we load our money with meaning, so we need to rewire our minds to think differently. And it's so true, isn't it? Because normally money's loaded with emotion. So having money will remind us of a certain time, or not having money will remind us of a certain time. Money will create a feeling. So when we've got it, we'll feel a certain way. Can't let me find my bit in my book. I'm getting there. Here we go. So money is actually an energy. So if we look at the 12 universal laws, the law of attraction states that thoughts become things. So if we think of money as a negative thing, we're not ever going to receive it. So it's like a lack mentality. So I'm going to say a lot of things going forwards now that I'm saying lots of different things and bringing your attention to loads of different sayings and things that you might have heard, because I want you to find your money story. So it might feel a little bit random. I've tried to make it flow, but what I want you to see here is there's so many different places that your money story could have come from. So if we say, I haven't got, or I want, the universe goes, oh, okay, well, she hasn't got. Ching, there you go. Now she hasn't got. Or I want to earn £10,000 a month. That's the thing that's battered all around the internet, isn't it? The 10K month thing. But also, like, what does that even mean? So why do you want to earn that amount of money? What will that mean to you when you have that? So it's not just about a number. It's about, again, you're attaching an outcome to having that much money. But that's like a whole nother story. We're here to find your money story tonight. So we've got to be really, really careful with what comes out of our mouth in relation to money. It could be that, like, you can't even talk about it. And it used to be that I couldn't talk about it because it properly made me uncomfortable and squirmy. Or it could be that you feel guilty or ashamed when you buy something. And then when someone says, oh, I haven't seen that before, and you go, oh, I've had it for ages. It's just been in the bottom of my wardrobe, or I've just had it in a bag and I forgot all about it. And they're like, and they look at you like, you think I'm a tit. And you still got the tag in it, and you're like, oh no, I've done that before. Hang on, where's my left button? Oh, hang on, we're still here. So it could be that we think there isn't enough as well. So sometimes you'll see someone who's earning a lot of money and you'll go, oh, well, they're earning it all. So like, what's the point of me doing it? Because they're already successful doing the thing that I want to do. So you'll think that all the money's gone in that little pond, but that's just totally not true. I've just put, we think there isn't enough for everyone, that there's only so much available and that other people will earn it before us or instead of us, and it'll all be gone. So we don't bother. And we make a big fat excuse because we're scared. And we're scared of trying to make money and failing. And we're scared of stepping forwards and being seen. All the other things come up with this, don't they? But we're here just to talk about money for tonight. So what's the point? Because all the money will be gone. So again, it's just another big fat excuse. So I just want you to think about what your earliest memory is, that someone that you remember, like your mum or your dad or whoever your carer was, just saying, what was the thing? Was it money doesn't grow on trees? That's like the common one, isn't it? Or we haven't got enough, or stop asking me for everything, we can't afford it, or I'm not made of money. I remember my mum saying that and thinking, well, I know you're not made of money. Like, not stupid. Like, otherwise I'd have all your fingers off. I'd have all the teddies in the shop. Okay, so there's other things as well, isn't there? I've just put here, another one is rich people are spoilt. So we think that if we are rich, then that means that we're spoiled. So again, we sort of don't want to be rich. So we're keeping ourselves in the poor or the lack or the lower. And I talked about this morning as well. Like when you've been brought up with not very much, or your family have struggled, or you've never really had very much, having that lack mentality is safe, because you know what it means to not have anything. You know what it means to struggle, and you know what it means to make ends meet and just move from one thing to the other, to just try and, get a cash injection or whatever you need to do. Or you know what it means to make excuses. I'll just buy this and then it'll just be that, or because that's safe and you know that. So the thought of having money can actually scare the shit out of you as well. Can everyone just check for me, please, that they're on mute? Just because just got a little bit of background noise. So have a look at these again and just see if these resonate. So rich people are spoiled. I just want you to notice how these things make you feel as I'm saying them, and just maybe write a few little notes down. With regards to the rich people thing, do you get triggered by rich people? Like if you see someone rich, does it bother you? Or does it make you feel, well, like how the fuck are they doing that when I should be doing that? Or are you inspired by them? So good, I can see a few nods, because the universe, and I know I talk about this a lot, but I believe that, like, I believe massively in the laws of the universal laws, and I believe massively in the law of attraction. And I believe that when we are excited for other people and we want to help other people succeed, and we want to see other people succeed, that the universe sees that within us and goes, oh my fucking God, look, she wants that. She's happy for them. She's calling in that same type of energy. So as we are excited for other people, then we create that excitedness within ourselves, and then we want it more. And it's almost like we get a bit of a fuck it mentality. Like, I can do that. If they can do that, I can do it. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm here to show you that you fucking can do it, because if I can do it, you can do it. Like, we don't need to do it perfectly. We just need to do it. Done is always better than perfect. Sitting there being scared your whole life in case something goes wrong, or in case you fuck up, or in case you don't do it right, you're not going to move forward. You're going to miss out on so much good stuff. And even shitting your pants feels good when you're stepping in the right direction, because you're like, oh my God, because you know you want it. Oh, Zoe, I love you. I've got your chicken. See how triggering it is, because money mindset is so deep rooted and it's so big. And the fear of stepping forwards and being seen because of your money mindset, when you know you're ready to take the next step and you know you're ready to invest in yourself or do the course or pay for the mentor or whatever it is that you're going to do, that's when everything comes to a head. Your inner bitch turns into the fucking green giant and stands behind you or in front of you going, absolutely no way. And you've got to sort of just run quickly through her legs and pay whatever you're going to pay because she's got you. She's like stomping behind you. So another thing that I used to hear a lot, and again, it was because I was in the corporate world for a long time, I suppose, was men can, women can't. Or I used to see a lot of men doing better than a lot of women. And that used to really fucking piss me off. And there was a lot of sexist people as well. And I'd be like, I'll show you one day. You have to work hard for your money. What have I written about that? So again, just taking notice, like what's coming up for you. So you have to work hard for your money. Did you have someone explain to you that you have to work hard for every penny? Like when we were kids, we'd have it drilled into us that you must work hard. Life is hard. Everything's going to be hard, but that's just life. And you're like, I don't fucking want that. Like, ugh. And sometimes it is hard, but when you're doing it for yourself, when you are working hard for you, you don't mind doing that because you're not lining someone else's pockets. That's what used to piss me off, was I'd work my fucking tits off until I had nothing left and I'd get a teeny bit of the money that I'd made. And I used to be one of the top sellers in Lloyds Bank a long time ago when sales were okay to be sales. And all my sales were done ethically. And that's why my clients used to come back to me all the time, because always been a big believer in honesty and good energy. I never used to undersell the PPI or anything like that. And I think that's why I did well, because I never forced anything on anyone. But when I'd see what was coming in and what everything, you know, all the money that was being made, and then they go, there's 5p. Like, really? Whereas now you get to do the things that light you up, that make you pea glitter everywhere, and you see the reward and you see what you're doing for other people as well. It's not just about the money, it's about the energy, like how you feel. Money's supposed to make you happy, isn't it? That's what we think money does. And for me, that's what I make sure that it does, because when you work for yourself, you get to be free. You get to create and do the things that you love. But it's so important that you don't be an ostrich with your money, because when you can see clearly what's happening with your money, you have so much more clarity, which brings you more confidence, which gives you more foundations and structure so that you know exactly what you need to know. There's no worry anymore. It takes away all the anxiety of like, shit, when's that bill due? Oh my God, it's okay, I'll just wait for it to come out. And when it comes out, it wipes all your money out because you've been an ostrich and you've not wanted to look. I've been there so many times. We will never have that. Oh, that used to crush my little soul. What was it I wanted? Oh, I don't know. What were they called? Secrets. And it was these little animals, and they had a key, and you opened them up, and it was like that. I always wanted one of them, and I wanted a poochie as well, a little pink poochie with the fluffy ears. And I remember asking for one, and I didn't get it. And I always wanted a Mr. Freeze as well that made the slushy thing. I didn't get one of them either. And I know why now, but seeing all my friends get them, and I remember me now in the background when I was asking about them, and I was saying about such and such was getting one for Christmas and such, and it's like, well, we'll never have that money, because their family was obviously better off than ours, and I didn't know. But this was the girl that got everything and used to come in and go, I've got this, and this. Yeah, and I didn't understand why I couldn't have that, and that. But I can just remember that sentence, well, we'll never have that. And I was like, oh, I'm never getting a poochie. And I never got one. In fact, I feel like I'm going to buy myself one off eBay. I'm going to buy myself a poochie. Oh, that's made me dead happy. Anyway, just that's a trigger for me. We'll never have that. Rich people aren't really happy. So again, think about hearing this as a little human. Think about what that means. So if someone says to you, rich people aren't really happy, you'd be like, shit, aren't they? Oh, I never want to be rich. So you go through your whole life telling yourself that you never want to be rich because rich people aren't really happy. And then you get older, all rich people are fake. And sometimes, you know, sometimes rich people aren't very nice and sometimes they are a bit shrewd and they are a bit this, but generally there's so many amazing wealthy people in the world. There's so many. I'm going to try and say this word and it's going to come out all wrong. Oh, is that a poochie? That's not a poochie, is it?
40 years old.
Oh my God.
She's born. I haven't used. She sits in the back of the airing cupboard. I don't know why I've never got rid of her. She used to sleep in my bed with my Care Bear. And
I've still got my Care Bear.
When you said about Poochie, I thought I've got to go and find her.
Oh, thank you.
She's that's so worn. I mean, a poor Ed wants to do, you know, bless her.
She's saying yes.
Yeah, yeah, she is.
Do it, Emma, do it. Yeah. Poochie knows the answer.
I wish she bloody did.
Oh, thank you for sharing that with me.
I thought you'd love that. Sorry.
I do.
Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, it's Ed. Listen, Poochie can interrupt anytime she wants. That's made me so happy. Thank you so much. So we'll never have that as well implies that like life's a hard graft and that we don't work hard enough. Every morning Daisy says to me, like, why do you get to stay home? I think I've said this a few times throughout the week. It's not fair, you get to stay home. And it's only because she doesn't want to go to school. But I always say to her, it's because like I'm my own boss now and I get to choose like what I want to do and I do all the things that I love. And that's why I always say to you, when you get big, make sure you get a job that you love because you're going to spend the rest of your life doing it and it's so important. And then she still looks at me like, yeah, but I've still got to go to school. But it's so important, isn't it, to just say to the little people and even to just inspire them a little bit to do the things that they dream of doing and knowing that you can. So where are we going here? Hang on, don't think I'm ready for that one yet. So it could be that your parents argued over money. Like my granddad went bankrupt when I was little and my nan was always so angry at him, always like putting him down and making him feel guilty and ashamed. So that's one of my memories as a child is my nan and my granddad. Like my granddad was the most beautiful, kindest, gorgeous, loving, gentle man on the planet, and my nan was a narcissist. I suppose opposites do attract, but he never used to argue back, and she'd just rip shreds off him, and I'd be like, and he'd just sit there with his little flat cap on and his packet of extra strong mints that he used to share with me. And when she'd finished, I'd go and sit on his knee and he'd give me a mint and we'd just sit there in silence, crunching mints. And I used to have to nibble mine because it was dead hot and I was only about 5. But that's one of my earliest memories, being shamed, watching, and I'm like the man I loved most in my whole world, because I didn't have a dad when I was very little, being shamed because he'd messed the money up. So, I can feel that prickling in my body. So horrible. I'm gonna cry. Poor granddad. It could have been that you had to share everything when you were little. You've always had to help someone out. Like my dad used to say something, all debt is bad debt. So if I'd need to get like a car loan or the washing machine broke and I couldn't afford to pay for it and I'd have to get it in a few installments, like my dad would be like, all debt's bad debt. Like he'd shamed me for buying a new washing machine when he's got money and he wouldn't give me any of it. This is my stepdad. He's all like, my mum never had a pot to piss in, but would give you everything. And my dad always had money, but squeaked when he walked and wouldn't give you anything. And it's weird that it's like that, isn't it? So again, from being little, that was my money mindset. If you didn't have anything, you were a good person. Whereas if you did have something, you were a bit mean. And again, me nan, rich people are evil. Money's the root of all evil. Rich people aren't really happy and money doesn't buy happiness. So again, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I think this is just what people who haven't got any money say to make them feel better about not having any money. But being told this as a child would make you think that if you became rich, you wouldn't be happy anymore. Our poor little heads, when we're little, we have all this stuff just pushed in from other people, and we're like, okay. Whatever your money situation, we should not have to have any shame or any guilt. Our relationship experience amount of money doesn't make us bad people at all. So it's okay, whatever has happened to you in the past with like regarding money, it doesn't make you a bad person. When we moved into our house, when my mum and stepdad divorced, when we moved into our house, we had a bed for a couch because we didn't take anything with us. We took the clothes that we had. I think my mum had to sort of pretty much, but I think I was allowed to take no, we didn't. We just took our beds and our clothes, but we didn't have a couch or anything like that. We had a really old telly that someone had give us that you had to whack because it got those fuzzy lines across it. When we'd be watching a film and then the lines would come on and be like, "Do you turn to whack it?" We'd have to get up and whack the telly. And we had a couch, a bed as a couch, a single bed, so we'd all get on, and it was quite cozy actually because we had like big pillows and a duvet, and we'd all get under it. And that was me, my mum, and my brother. And I remember my friend at the time, and her mum and dad they lived in a big detached house on a beautiful rich road, and she was dead down to earth, but and her mum and dad were gorgeous as well. They were dead generous, and I was always in her house, and there was like a 6-bedroomed house, and they were getting a new couch, and I remember her mum saying to me, "Do you think your mum would be offended if I offered her this couch?" And I was like, "No, I think she'd love it." Anyway, I went home and told my mum, and she cried. And I can just remember like my mum being so happy that we were getting this couch, and it was an expensive couch because they were rich. But yeah, that's just another little brain fart. So when I was young, again, when I was 14, because my mum and dad had divorced, I had 3 jobs. Because if I wanted anything, I had to work for it myself. So I'd always sort of believed that you had to work hard, or if you wanted anything, you had to get it yourself, which is, I suppose, a good work ethic. But I was only 14. I was in school. I was coming home every night and going to work in a chippy. And then over a weekend, I was working in the hairdressers on the chippy. And then on a Sunday, I worked in a restaurant. And I had a lot of money, like for my age, but it bought me the Nike Air Max trainers that I wanted, that my mum couldn't afford, and me trackies and, stuff like that. So I found it difficult to ask for anything as a child or as a teen, because I would always get we haven't got. So I always went out and sort of earned it myself. But our thoughts around money affect our feelings, which affect our behavior. So if you think that you can't, the feeling is it's true, because your inner bitch will step in, and then the behavior will be you will self-sabotage, and then you'll be like, oh well, there it is, it's true. So you're almost proving it to yourself. And again, these thoughts are often there to keep us safe. When your inner bitch steps in, if you see something that you really want to do, and your inner bitch steps in and goes, oh my God, that's a fucking lot of money. Normally then you should know it's the right thing to do, because if she's scared, it's like, oh, okay, figures here, right. I know when I'm about to shit my pants, it's the right thing to do. And the first time I ever paid for a business coach, I think I said this last night on the session, I cried. I cried a bit more. I felt like I had a big dirty secret from Mikey, because I was spending all this money on getting a business coach, but I knew there was things that I didn't know that I needed to know that she knew. So it was all about like where you are and you know where you want to get to, but you don't know the little bit in the middle. So you need people's help, and that's the bit, isn't it? So I just remember feeling so guilty and like almost ashamed. But what was the bigger feeling was sheer excitement, because I was going to find out all the things that were going to help me move forwards, because I knew with every cell in my being that it was the things that I wanted to do. So it's so important that we notice when we are making decisions about money, what feelings are coming up and how is that affecting your behavior. In the UK as well, we've got like a class system, haven't we? So we've got the rich and the working class. So this can make you feel a little bit resentful about money. So you might see someone in a Bentley or a Porsche, and you'd be like, look at that knob in his fast car. And we've all done it. I used to do it all the time because my nan used to go, oh, show off. And now I go, oh my God, I can't wait to get a red Jag. In fact, I've got one, but I can't get in it yet. So I just practice. And my new red car looks exactly like this, except it's not a Jag, it's a Renault. But it'll do for now because it's within my budget. So I'm like, right, still there. But I do go outside and I've got my red car with my leather seats and my vanilla dangly thing. What's it called? Magic tree. So I'm halfway there. Where was I? So, yeah. Resentful towards people with money because we think they're bad people and they don't care. That's what I used to believe because I was told that rich people are evil, rich people are greedy and all these things. And then there's people who have a lot of money who have it easy. So this is another thing, isn't it? Oh, they've got it so easy. Look at them with all their money. And this used to make me think that like rich people used to look down on us. Like working class people, like we're all here, like they're little worker ants just working for them, and they're up there having it easy, just sitting in the chair or playing golf in the boardroom, you know, because they don't have to do anything. But I know it's not like that now. I know a lot of wealthy people who are really good people. So if you think about it like this, there's a whole nother way of thinking about it. So think about being on a diet. Like if we tell ourselves we want to go on a diet, it can be hard because we think that it's going to be hard. I can't have chocolate. I can't have crisps. I can't have cake. I mustn't eat that. And we stop ourselves from doing all the things. So it will be hard. But if we change our mindset, this diet is going to help us to feel amazing. We're going to be more mobile. We're going to feel cleaner. We're going to sleep better. We're going to have clearer skin. We won't get the shake. I'm sugar intolerant and I shouldn't eat sugar, but I do because I like it sometimes. So I get the shakes, sometimes the shits. But when we tell ourselves we can't, we want it more, don't we? So we start chasing it. Whereas when we just change our mindset and change our thoughts around the things, you know, we see things and we focus on the positive. So like, I'm going to save this money because I want to pay off that debt, which is going to free me up an extra £200 a month. And with that £200, I'm going to pay that off my mortgage, or I'm going to invest that in myself, in the course that I want to do. So there's so many different ways of reframing. It's just about becoming self-aware and noticing the shit that you're chatting to yourself around money. So when you get scared, why are you scared? What's coming up? Have a real good look, sit for a minute, you know, journal it out, brain dump like we've talked about this week. Just get your pen and your paper and be like, this is coming up and that's coming up and what will they think? And oh my God, and it's nobody else's business sometimes. Sometimes we do have to make financial agreements with our partners or whoever we're involved with, but sometimes we need to be careful who we tell the excited things to, because they piss all over our bonfires, because their money mindset is even worse than ours. So when you say to them, I'm thinking of doing this, and you're already shitting your pants, they shit their pants even bigger. And then they're like, your inner bitch is going to say, I told you. And you're like, oh no, why did I even tell them? They're so negative. And it could be that you're trying to improve your money mindset, but the people around you are still in that lower vibration. They're not ready to move on yet. And this is what happens when we start doing like self-development work as well. Very often our circle of friends will change because our vibration changes. We're not in line with them anymore. We want to have meaningful conversations and dream big and get excited and talk about the things instead of gossiping and chatting about shit. And I mean, it's nice to do that, but every now and again, Okay. Here's an interesting question. Do you feel like when you speak to rich people, they talk down to you? So I used to feel like this all the time. If I spoke to anyone who I knew had money, I'd be like, you're talking down to me. You think you're better than me. And actually, it's your mindset. It's you that feels like you're less than them. It's not them that feels like you are less than them. It's you. They most probably aren't even, they don't even know anything about you, but you feel inadequate because of money. It's all about taking responsibility. You can give yourself as many excuses as you want, but you are the only one that can make changes in your life. You are the only one that can make decisions. You get to choose what you tell yourself and how your thoughts come through, or which thoughts you listen to, and how you call more positive ones in that will help you to move forwards. Because all you can learn all the stuff in the world, can't you? But unless you put it into place, unless you take the steps forward, nothing is ever going to work. You've got to really take ownership, is what I'm sort of trying to say without being pointy fingery. So when you're trying to change your money mindset, it's so important that you notice what's happening with the people around you. Like, ask the people around you as well, or tell them, like, hey, have you thought about thinking about money like this? Or, if the way you're trying to think about it, or ask them if they are just constantly moaning about what they haven't got. Say, can you not talk about money like that around me, please? They probably won't get it, because they might not be on the same wavelength as you. You might be moving up a little bit, and I don't mean that in a bad way. People don't get it. It's like when I started out on my spiritual journey, and people had asked me what it was, and I'd tell them, look at me like I had 10 heads. And then I'd feel like I had 10 heads, because that's how they were looking at me. But now people's reactions don't make me feel that way. And when someone doesn't understand something, it makes me want to explain it more. So share with them your new mindset, or notice who's bringing you down. If you are trying to make positive changes and there's so many people around you that aren't, like, this can be a time for you to really look at who you are surrounding yourself with. They say, I'm going to say this wrong, but in my own words, we're like the amalgamation of the 5 people we spend the most time with, aren't we? So notice who they are and what is their energy like. Because if you're hanging around with 5 neggy people, you're done. You need to get a new circle, babe. Okay. Don't beat yourself up about getting into debt. Call them investments, because they've all served a purpose, haven't they? So don't beat yourself up for being in debt. We all do what we have to do. And I reframe it now. I've still got debt. We've all got debt, haven't we? But be grateful for what you've got. Like, I've took some really big investments in my business that I'm still paying off, but I am so grateful that they helped me get to the next level in my business, which has helped me grow. And without that, I wouldn't be where I am now. So instead of saying, oh, I've got this debt, write down or say, I am so grateful for the debt because it helped me to get a new car, go on that holiday that I needed because I was about to have a mental breakdown, decorate the nursery for my new baby, pay off a shitload of other debt and save us 400 quid a month. We always use the money for something, don't we? It's not just there. We've had something from it. So really, maybe have a look at what you've spent and then go, oh my God, we really needed to do that. We're not bad people for having debt. Debt doesn't make you a bad person. Hang on, I'm not there yet. So attitude for gratitude, I've just written here, is change. Like, I have to pay my gas and electric bill. I have to buy petrol. I have to pay my mortgage. And it's like a chore, and it's like a heaviness on your shoulders. But by changing it to, I get to pay my mortgage. Like, this pays for my house, like the gas and electric. it pays for the light to be on my laptop, or you wouldn't be able to see me. And like for me kettle to boil, for me peppermint tea in the morning, and to keep me babies warm when we wake up and it's a little bit nippy, and I trot downstairs before they wake up and whack the heating on so that when they get up it's nice and warm for them and they don't moan and try and stay in bed longer because they don't want to go to school. I'm like, it's not cold. That's one of her excuses. So I always put the heating on now and take her a cup of tea, and then she can't moan. She's like a bloody queen. So what I do now as well is whenever I pay anything, before I press the button, I always just put my hands on my heart and just say thank you. Like whatever I'm paying, like thank you. Like I've got the money to pay it. Like thank you for that. Especially if it's something that I want, or an investment that I'm making in myself, or even if I'm paying something off. Especially when I'm paying something off. But again, when we've got the money to pay for the things that we need to have around us to keep us safe and warm and happy, when we've got clothes, when we've got food, you know, these are all the things that we should be grateful for, because when we're grateful for what we've got and we look around and we find all the things that we're grateful for, we raise our vibration. So again, going to last night's session where we talked about the law of attraction, raising your vibe, visualization, we have so much already to be grateful for. And it could be that you've seen so much of your money story now that you're grateful for you're grateful for the lessons. So you're like, oh my God, I can see that now. But that kept me safe for so long. But now I don't want to be an ostrich anymore. And now I'm ready, or whatever you're deciding to do. Where are we? So take notice of what you're saying to yourself as well, because all our words have all got a vibration and they've all got a frequency and they've all got like power, haven't they? So what we say and what we say to ourselves. So again, I don't know if I've covered it on this course, but everything, our intentions, our energy. So I talk about Dr. Emoto's ice experiment or water experiment. I'll put it in the group so you can have a watch of it. It's absolutely amazing. So Dr. Emoto, he has 2 glasses of water. This is just I'm just explaining to you the power of thought. Okay, so he's got 2 glasses of water. One of them, he just looks at it and he intends with his mind that he sends beautiful thoughts of love to this glass of water. I love you. You are beautiful. You are fresh. You are clear. You are gorgeous. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay. And then to this other glass of water, he's like, you disgust me. I despise you. I hate you. And he sends all these, he doesn't say it out loud. He thinks it and he sends the intention to these 2 glasses of water. And then he freezes the water. The glass that he's told that he loves, those icicles are perfectly formed. They look like little snowflakes are frozen and they're so beautiful because they're all full of love and they're like, wee, just gorgeous little icicles. The icicles in the glass that he says he hates, they're not even icicles. They're not even formed. It's all brown and swirly and it looks all gnarly and edgy and angry and it looks all like it's in pain under the microscope. And that was just done with the power of intention. So if you think we are 80% water, so our thoughts, whatever we think, do that to all the cells in our bodies. So it's so important that you notice your thoughts and that you tell yourself that you are fucking awesome every day and that you can do the things that you want to do, instead of you are not enough and you can't charge and I'm not worthy and I'm too scared and all these things, because your body's listening. It's really important. Sorry, I've dried my mouth out again. So take notice of what you are saying to yourself, my beautiful one, because in 21 days, you can create a new habit. And in 40 days, you can change your subconscious thought by using a positive affirmation. It can even be, I am open to receiving. And again, I talked about this before and I talked about it yesterday, but when you're creating an affirmation, it's so important that you create one that feels right for you and not one that someone else is telling you. Because if I said to you, I want your affirmation to be, I am a millionaire, you'd go, I am a millionaire. And your inner bitch would go, no, you're fucking not. And then you go, no, I'm not. And you go, oh, and then you'd feel like just a bit of a knobhead because you're telling yourself you're a millionaire and you've got loads of debt and you're like, oh, I'm shit, I'm just fucking this off, I'm not going to do it anymore. But if you say to yourself, I am open to receiving whatever, you are just allowing the universe to give you whatever you need. You're surrendering. Let it flow. Just let it come in. Like, be open, be excited about the unknown. That's another song, isn't it? Into the unknown, for anyone that's got kids. So money is freedom, money is happiness. I got goose pimples when I was talking about that. I got all excited about just surrendering and everything coming in, because you know, it's so important, again, that we keep our vibe high as much as we can. And I know we have shitty days, and me and Zoe just had a whinge before we come on the live together, because things, we go up and down, don't we? But when we can really get excited about how good things can be, and they can, you can have anything that you want. You've just got to work on it. And, you know, it's not easy. It does take consistency, but it pays off, especially with money mindset. Excuse me, I've got a vitamin C tablet in my drink and it's really fizzy. Okay, where am I up to? Know exactly what comes in and out every day. No more ostrich. So look at where you are exactly with your finances, your cards, your loans, your mortgage. When you know everything that's there, there's no surprises. There's no bills that are going to come out that are going to take you over your overdraft, which are going to get you more charges. It's so important that you choose to see where everything is now. It just makes you feel so much better when you're not dodging one bill to the other. And it might be a little bit scary to write down, but it's, you know, it's all sort outable. It's all fixable. And it is only money at the end of the day, but it is an energetic frequency. So we've got to see it and honor it and be like, right, okay, I see you now. So I'm going to send this your way. And money loves to move. Money likes to come in and go out. I always think about this. Like, I always get a nice little lump in my account, and then something will come in and I've got to pay it. And I'm like, that's okay, I've got it, and I'll pay it. And no sooner has it gone out than another lump has come in. And I'm like, oh, it just loves to move. But at first, I used to keep everything in one place so I could see it all. And if a bill come in, I wouldn't pay it straight away because I'd be scared of it going out and not coming back in again. But it just likes to flow. So, money goals. Here we go. So a money goal, if you want to, you can like try and achieve a little money goal for the month, or a big money goal, whatever it is. I shouldn't have said the word little there, should I? So write down at the start of the month what you want to achieve, and then how you plan to achieve it. And then break it down. So how much is each thing going to cost, and how much are you going to bring in, and what are your costs from that, and what will you be left with? And have fun with it. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you don't bring it in. Just learn from it. Like, okay, well, what didn't work? What could I have done? Who can help me next time? Who's done it before? Where can I ask for advice from? Or it'll be like, I already know, and I'm just not ever fucking doing that again. So it can be a big lesson sometimes. And do you know what? Some of the most expensive lessons that I've learned have been the best ones, because they've shown me how I don't want to behave, how I don't want to be, how I don't want to show up. That, you know, money isn't everything, and that it should be respected, but also, like, it's okay to be scared when you're making an investment, and it's okay to not know the outcome, as long as you've got all those feelings in your body that make you feel excited. And then whatever the outcome is whatever you need. Like, you just need to surrender. You just need to follow your intuition and your feelings. Here we go. Okay. Pricing. If everyone could just pop their hat, I'm just going to stop sharing the screen a minute. Okay. Who struggles with pricing?
Have you watched Halo yet? No, not yet. Me and Paul are about to sit down and watch it.
Oh, hang on, who's not on mute?
We
Let
watched
me
it,
mute. Nina, there we go. So hands up. Yeah, everyone struggles with pricing. Okay. I just wanted to see, because I still do sometimes, and I've had 2 ladies message me today, 3 ladies, in fact, about pricing, all with amazing offers, all going, I've created this course and I've done this. And I'm like, are you kidding? And when they've worked it out and broken down what they were going to charge, they've charged themselves something like £4 an hour. And they're like, oh, you're like, that's not even happening. But what is really, really important, just let me go back to sharing the screen so you haven't got my head. Okay. Knowing your worth. So it's the thing that I see with all of my clients, and all of you beautiful ladies on here have just, popped your hands up as well. It makes them squirm, especially if you're a healer or you do some sort of, I don't know, energetic work, or you feel like you're doing something to help people, because you'll often be like a natural empath and you just want to help people, so you don't feel like you should charge for your service. And you've been there before and you knew what it was like when you were there. But the truth is, like, you have to know your worth. And I see a lot of people charging a low price for things as well, because they think they're sort of undercutting other people and that other people will go to them because the price is lower. But what low pricing can actually make people think is that your service isn't as good as other people's, because they'll be like, well, why is it so low? So you almost can do yourself out of a bit of a service because you're charging too little, because they're like, well, why is it only that? So know your worth. And again, this is where a lot of pricing problems come from, because it's our worth. We don't see our worth, so we won't charge enough for the thing, because we don't want to, it's the people pleaser in us, and we want to help people and we don't think people will be able to afford it and all this. But the truth is, if people want it, they will find a way to do it, because I've always found a way to do the thing that, and I'm a manifestor generator, for anyone that knows a little bit about human design, and I react to my body. So if all my little cells inside are going, yes, the answer is yes, I'm like getting all my credit cards out and just going for it. And it's never been the wrong decision for me when I've felt like it's the right one. That's what I want to say. But pricing, it's so important to understand that your time, your energy, your creation, like we spoke about just before, I think it was just before I pressed record, I was saying about how my first ever course, I did it at the beginning of lockdown. It was my first ever online course. I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. I'd been a yoga teacher for like the 3 years or 2 years previous, and a Reiki practitioner. So I'd always just done in-person stuff. And I did an online course. It was all about the chakras. It was 14 hours over 2 weeks. There was loads of prep that I had to do, and it was 66 quid. And I gave away 10 quantum holographic echo healing sessions to the first 10 people that signed up. So although I had, I think it was 28 people sign up to the course, and I'd made like the most money I'd ever made in one thing ever. And I was so excited by it. And my coach was there going, oh, because she knew it was really underpriced. But what's really important is when you're starting out in business is that your pricing is aligned, because although that was a low price, if you try and charge something that you're not aligned to, and when I say the word aligned, I mean, if I said to you, right, I want you to charge £250 for that session, you might just want to throw up all over yourself. But if I said to you, right, it's 60 quid, you might be going, and I'll be like 45, and you go, yeah, 45, that feels right. And then what happens is you've got the confidence then to tell other people about your thing, because your price is aligned. There's nothing worse than someone trying to tell you how to price your thing because it's yours. And I didn't tell the girls today, I gave them my opinion and I showed them how much work they were putting in. So just like, just have a look at this a minute, and just have a look at that a minute. So all these hours, okay, break them down. So it's £2.75 an hour that you're actually charging yourself. And they were like, oh shit. And I was like, yeah, okay. So how does that feel? And they were like, not good. And I was like, right, so let's find a price that feels good. So it's all about that when you're pricing. Break everything down, sit and look at what you're doing, and also look at the transformation that you're giving that person, especially if it's a course. Like, where are they now? Where will they be at the end? And what's the transformation? What are you giving them in between? So like the course that I'm launching tomorrow, I've talked about it the whole way through because it's, you know, I want you to know that that's what is happening. But it's all about giving you all the confidence to be seen. It's about helping you to get over your money mindset on a deeper level than this. It's talking about how to stand out and be you. So calling out your inner bitch and looking at all the things that she's saying to try and hold you back. We're going to be doing it. I'm not going to go into too much because I'm going to share it with you all tomorrow, but the transformation is by the beginning to the end, you'll have the confidence, the clarity, all the tools to step forward and be confident in setting up your new business. With me holding your hand, pea and glitter all over you the whole way through. But pricing, I get it. I totally get it. And that's one of the sessions in the course is all on pricing and about it being aligned. Hang on, I've lost my little wiggly thing. Here. Okay. So taking the plunge, self-development, business mentors, courses, like all these things since the beginning of lockdown. Just before lockdown, it was actually that I started making investments in myself and my business, but I've made some really, really scary choices. And they've made me feel like really, really vulnerable. But I just decided that I was going to go with them because it was only me that could make the changes. Like, you can sit there and make all the excuses that you want, and I'm not like shaming anyone because it's scary, but there's only you that can make the changes in your business. So money mindset is something that terrified me and kept me small for a really long time. But once you can see that it is just a story that you're telling yourself and that you get to choose how to reframe it, you know, you don't need to shame yourself for your debts. You don't need to hide away from your bills. It's so important that you get clear on what you've got coming in and what you've got going out so that you know. It makes you feel safe. And when you feel safe, you feel grounded. And when you feel grounded, you feel like you can move in your feminine energy and begin to create and flow. And you're not in this like fight or flight mode anymore. You're really allowing yourself to soften and surrender. And that's when all the good shit happens. But when you've, it's almost like you scare yourself because you know that that's what feels safe. The scaredness, the fear, when you've been in fight or flight for such a long time, when you actually do feel safe, that can feel scary as well. So it's all really scary. The whole thing is really, really scary is what I'm going to say. But there's no magic formula. Like, you can have it if you want it. It's that simple. But, you know, you have to do the work. And if I can do it, you can fucking definitely do it. And I'm here to help you step by step. And hopefully this week of everything is helping you to realize just how much you are holding yourself back from doing all the things that are going to light the biggest fire in your belly and just make you so fucking happy. Whether you choose to do the course with me or not, that's not this week. I have absolutely loved. It's not finished yet. We've got tomorrow with the mini vision board and getting creative and looking at colors and names and all the shizzle like that. And then we're going to look at doing a mini business vision board where I'm going to get you to pick a word that you're going to use to create the vision board with. But it's okay to feel scared. Like, we've got to do the things that scare us, and we don't need to know the answers or the outcome. Like, we just need to step forwards and lean into the things that Lean into the unknown. I'm not gonna sing again for you, don't worry, because we can't ever get it wrong. There's always a lesson, or a blessing, if it works out or when it works out, because the lessons sometimes are even more important. Just let me stop sharing the screen. There we go. And, if you really want something, you'll always find a way, because I have, and I know there's some fucking phenomenal women on here who've done the same, made big investments in themselves this year, and everything's changing. Amy Blaney's like, woohoo. Yeah. So I'm gonna just stop recording. Does anyone have any questions that they would be happy to ask here, or would you like me to stop recording and you can ask your questions? I will stop recording. Thank you for everyone who's been here and everyone who's watching back. And I will pop the homework in the group. I'm just going to stop recording.